this 50 horror classics box set that I know Anthropomantic Fiend just absolutely loves. And this film came out in 1922. Now, just a little bit of minor tidbits about the film, just some factoids. There's a lot of name changes in this film because technically the film could have been copywritten. It was basically the same adaptation from Bram Stoker's Dracula, which at the time Stoker's wife was still alive and she still had exclusive rights to the film, but they still went on with it. They just changed some of the characters' names. And here's another quick thing that maybe some of you don't know, that the Nosferatu is actually not the name of the vampire. It's Orlok, Count Orlok. Nosferatu is actually just a Romanian name for vampires. So, with that being said, we follow a little town here in between where a gentleman and his wife are just now enjoying the company of each other. He is a real estate agent, and he just goes by the name of Hutter. Not Harker, but Hutter. Of course, and the reason being is because of the copyright laws. They didn't want to get sued by Mrs. Stoker. But they went ahead and made the film anyway. So, like I said, Hutter and his wife, Ellen, settling in, and he is a real estate agent, and he works for a broker that you might know of a name called Renfeld. But in this film, it's not Renfeld. It's... Are you ready for this one? It is Knock. They call him Knock. And he gives Hutter this assignment because he's getting a letter from Transylvania from Dracula, basically wanting, and that's Orlok, to come and purchase some real estate. So Hutter gets the ultimate request from Knock saying this is a good opportunity for you. You can make some money by doing this. This is good for your career. You're just starting out. So he decides to make the trek, leaving Ellen behind with some of their friends. Now, along the way, he gets a buggy and a carriage, and he's going to, cross the bridge and going to Transylvania to get all the paperwork signed and the information done about the real estate purchase. Along the way, some of the townspeople are saying, no, you don't want to stay here, you want to go back. The evil spirits are even outside as they pretend to see a werewolf, but it's actually a hyena. And finally, a carriage does actually pick him up because they got to the certain level of above this bridge and said, nope, we're not taking any further. That castle is haunted. So this phantom carriage picks up Hutter and takes him to the castle where he starts to break bread with Orlok, where he cuts his finger, and Orlok notices the blood and also sees a picture of Orlok, sees a picture of Ellen, who is Hutter's wife, and says, oh wow, your wife has a beautiful neck, maybe I need to move to where you're at. And subsequently the house that they're looking at, or that Orlok is looking at, is across the street from Hutter. So with that being said, he eventually subdues Hutter inside the house as Hutter is very sick and is having these crazy dreams and just feeling very sick. Meanwhile, Orlok catches a ship carrying a whole bunch of coffins with the plague in it, rats that are basically plaguing in these coffins, and the whole ship gets killed by Orlok. And Orlok finally arrives in the town. I believe the town is called Ebron, and basically he wants to get to Ellen because he's getting these vibes of Ellen. Ellen's feeling these vibes, by the way. It's kind of like a psychological, telepathic link between the two. And at this point, he arrives and people are starting to get picked off. People are dying because of the plague. And finally she realizes, spoiler alert, the only way that she's going to be able to settle this, she learns that she's a virgin and she's pure, She needs to give up her blood to Orlok in order to save the town. Meanwhile, Hutter has found a way to get back to the town. And basically the whole town is just trying to stop Nosferatu Orlok. And they tried many, many things to kind of kill him. They throw rocks at him. They see that he's sitting on top of roofs, which is abnormal. All these weird things are happening to him. And he just wants to get to Ellen at this point. There's been studies in the town from a guy named Van Helsing under a different name, who you would think would be the main character to want to take out Orlok, but he really just is studying the character once the coffins arrives. He wants no part of Orlok. In fact, another spoiler alert, the end of the film, the hero is Ellen. That's right. Now, another thing about this film that you may not know, and I'm deep diving this basically. I don't normally do this, but this is how much I love this movie. This is one of the first featured films with Dracula where a vampire is actually killed by heat in the sun. When the daylight arrives, basically he has already gotten to Ellen, and she basically holds him there enough to where the daylight comes, the windows start to show the light, and that's how Orlok is taken out. And that's basically Nosferatu in a nutshell. I love this movie. I know most of you have seen this. This is definitely a 5 out of 5 for me on the Boglin scale. Just really well shot. Of course, it's a silent film, although I like some of the aesthetic and the background noise for the film. I liked just all the characters, the acting. Of course, Nosferatu Orlok kind of looks like a rat to me with a longer face. And I love when he does the little like nails things, you know, when he comes up out of the coffin, you know, he's with those long nails there. So it's, sorry, that's the Phantom, but you know what I mean. Anyways, I love Nosferatu. Let me know your thoughts on Nos. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review. It is, in my opinion, one of my favorite adaptations. And, you know, yeah, let me know your thoughts, and I'll catch up with you later. Happy Spooky Month. Peace.
This is Halloween.
But a pandemic out, man, still a Halloween with a big bag on me looking like a trick-or-treat. Before the pandemic, I was masked up like Halloween with a big bag on me looking like I trick-or-treat. I'm lit like Christmas Eve, rolling up a Christmas tree. Say he won't smoke till his heat, he can antifreeze. Before the pandemic, I was masked up like Halloween with a big bag on me looking like I trick-or-treat. I'm lit like Christmas Eve, rolling up a Christmas tree. Say he won't smoke till his head leaking antifreeze. Big bag, big money, let the pay talk. I'm riding in a foreign.